Dwarven advice about Wizards of the Coast Open Gaming License 2.0. Hell, I have some Dwarven advice about OGL 2.0. Dwarven wisdom. Before we get started, please subscribe. Hammer that bell so you will know when I post a video. I don't have a set schedule yet. And share the video. I would appreciate that very much. As you already probably know, the Wizards are still planning to put out OGL 2.0. Let us look at some of the statements from their last message about OGL. First, we wanted the ability to prevent the use of Dungeons & Dragons content from being included in hateful and discriminatory products. How are they going to do this? Who will decide what is hateful and discriminatory? In 40 years of gaming, I can count in one hand products that were hateful. And you know, the most recent one came from the Wizards of the Coast. Does anyone here remember the character Thaco the Clown? This NPC created by the Wizards was an attempt to make fun of old school gamers, the very ones that have loved Dungeons and Dragons for decades. You decided to insult them. Now, discriminatory products. Again, in 40 years, I have not seen none, except if you want to count discrimination against monsters. Dungeons & Dragons is a game of fantasy, of good versus evil. So, yes, there has to be some level of discrimination, but it's part of the game. So, this is a lie. That statement. Driving these goals were two simple principles. One, our job is to be good stewards of the game. The community is the one that are the stewards. You, the Wizards, are not. Second part. The OGL exists for the benefit of the fans. The OGL was written so D&D would not disappear when it was facing extinction. No, it was not written for the fans. Nothing about those principles has wavered for a second. We'll talk about your principles a little bit later. So this statement is a lie. That was why our early drafts of the new OGL included the provisions they did. That draft language was provided to content creators and publishers, so their feedback could be considered before anything was finalized. You sent it with contracts ready to be signed. Those are not drafts. Ah, we are not fools. Stop treating us like we are. So these statements are lies. So all of those statements are lies. But let us continue. Under any new OGL, you will own the content that you create. We won't. In your so-called OGL 1.1, you already stated this. On that same OGL, you said that you had the right to use creators' IP without paying them anything. Wizards, that is stealing. Our plan was always to solicit the input of our community before any update to the OGL. The drafts you've seen were attempting to do just that. Again, the OGL was put out was not a draft. It just sent it with contracts to be signed. So another statement that is a lie. Thank you for caring enough to let us know what works and what doesn't, what you need and what scares you. Without knowing that, we can't do our part to make the new OGL match our principles. This statement. First of all, we are not scared. You are. Your silence speaks volumes. You're afraid now. Second, what principles? You have none. You pretend that you do, but you do not. And what is worst, you have no honor. So again, these statements are a lie. Well, so you may wonder, what is my advice? Overall, the OGL was a stab at the community. With these statements, the wizards are saying, oh, that wasn't a stab. I was just trying out my new dagger. You know, to better defend you with. The wizards try to stab you right in front of you and take your coin and what you own. But what is worst of all, they just not want your coin. They want to rule everyone. The OGL is the attempt of the wizards to create the one ring to rule all of Dungeons and Dragons. Do not allow someone that directly lies to your face to get away with it. And foremost, do not trust them ever again unless they prove their honesty and honor with actions, not empty words. What are your thoughts on the subject? Share your wisdom in the comment section. But remember, be honorable, be respectful.